Yo, what's going on, guys? So in this video I'll be talking about the cost of living in Thailand when I lived in Thailand and what you are likely to expect. So this video comes from one of my subscribers, of you guys, who asked me to do a cost of living in Thailand. So this video will be breaking it down all the way. So I do want to say, disclaimer, this video is not for backpackers or people who want to live off like very cheap, and I'm talking about people who general cost of living, so comfortably. That's what I'm going to be talking about, and my experiences and how I lived. So I'll be saying even the lower end and also going to the upper end, where you can live, where you can likely find good places to stay. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be keep bringing more of this type of information, living in Southeast Asia and all of that. Alright, let's get right into the video, guys. So this is my experience living there 6 months. So I do want to say I stayed in Thailand for 6 months renting a studio. So I've been to Thailand a total of a year. So the first 6 months I was basically living in a studio which I rented, and when I went back to visit Thailand, that's when I just stayed as a tourist. So today I'll just be telling you my cost of living as a person who was just living there. So the place I lived at was in Chiang Mai, as I said, in Niman. So that's a central place in Chiang Mai, which has a lot of gyms, modern studios, cafes and digital spaces to work. Obviously, as I like to work online and as a digital nomad and all of that, affordable. So for anyone who looks for wants something affordable besides Bangkok, this area is good. In fact, anywhere around Chiang Mai. I just chose the central part because I could do quite a lot of things there, and I just wanted a space that I could stay in. The studio I rented was $280, and it included the gym, Wi-Fi, and all the amenities inside. Right, so I was able to just like live normally. The other thing I had to pay extra was using obviously the electricity, which was $40 to $50 depending on the usage that I had. But normally the studios there are about $250 to $300 at most, somewhere there. Having said that, in Chiang Mai you can find something cheaper if you go further away from the city. So I was staying in the main city, so it was a bit higher compared to the one I'm talking about. So if you go to the outside the city, things are a bit cheaper. I like to be in the city center because I still have the bit of both worlds. When you're looking for accommodation in Thailand, specifically in Chiang Mai areas, there's 3 ways you can go about it. So the first one could be going on websites, and one of the best websites I'd recommend is called perfecthomes.co.th. So this is the website, perfecthomes.co.th. So where you can just choose, when you come into this website, go ahead and choose how many bedrooms. So in my case, I chose 1 bedroom, and then you can choose your minimum price. So for example, let's say 5,000 baht, and then maximum, let's say 30,000 baht. Okay, that's a bit too high, but let's make it 20,000 baht. And then we choose the condo, usually for rent. Okay, so usually you could also use houses, but I prefer you focus on condos because usually they come furnished most of the time, in my experience. And then choose the area. So we're gonna choose Niman here. So then you can now search, it'll give you. Alright, and then here you'll find different accommodation, the condos. So you can just go right ahead, choose any one of these or this, I don't know, anyone. Let's just choose this one. So as you can see, they're very modern. Niman is a very modern area, so you'd be really... So I want to just call your attention to something very important here. I think they should have it here. Normally, I wanted to show you, usually they have different prices. For example, they have a contract allow you to stay for 1 year or 6 months or sometimes 3 months, but in this one they didn't. Oh, they did. Condo rental, this one is per month. But sometimes they usually have different. Okay, it seemed they only have the 20 currently, 20,000 baht, but yeah, generally they have different price ranges. So, and then you can just I want to show you something. So here usually they use for contacting them WhatsApp or Line. Seems like this one only has WhatsApp, but you can check over here. Normally they have, cause in Thailand Line is basically one of the biggest things along with WhatsApp, but mainly Line they use. So you can check it here. So this is the website, guys. You can go over here and check. So you can even contact the people before you even leave your country if you're deciding to come stay for 6 months or a year. And then when you get there, you can go check it out. And another method would be using Facebook groups to also just type in wherever city you're going to Thailand and find rental condos there. So for example, in Chiang Mai, you'd say Chiang Mai condos, and then you'll find groups about that there. And also you can just walk and find places. For example, you fly to Chiang Mai or wherever, and then walk around and find these places. Let's move on to the food. The food in Thailand is legit, literally. Even the street food there is legit, it's heaven. So I was literally eating out every day because the street food is super cheap and super amazing. Like I won't lie, Thailand has it when it comes to the food. I don't know what they put in there, but when I got there I was like, wow. So that made me go every day to eat. So street food would be like 1.5 to like $3 per meal. So that's quite cheap for the amount of food you get, because the plates are quite good. And then you'll be eating like local food like khao soi and many more, which are very, very delicious. And also you can eat Western food, which is will be cost you about $6 to about $10 per meal. So I was mixing it up when I was living in Chiang Mai. So I'd say monthly in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, I was spending $250 per month. And I was eating comfortably, and no starving backpacker life here. I was eating comfortably, whatever I wanted to eat. Now let's move on to the transport. So when I was living there for 6 months, I was basically using a rental motorbike, which was paying $75 per month, and it's quite good because as long as you have an international driving license, they'll allow you. So that's one point you need to remember. In Thailand, unlike in Indonesia or like Cambodia or where else, you need to have an international driving license, which will go hand in hand. But what they do in Thailand is they allow you, if you don't have an international driving license, they usually say, be careful because you might be stopped, and whenever police stops you each and every time, you're going to be paying 500 baht. So they'll tell you, be prepared for that. And also what I like about their transport is in Chiang Mai, there's more options for transport, but in Bangkok you mainly have obviously the tuk-tuk, you can use a motorbike, and there's meter taxis and whatnot, which can be normally expensive. But if you go to Chiang Mai, usually you have all of that, maybe not too much the meter taxis. I don't really see, I never really saw them, but it was mainly the tuk-tuks, obviously a motorbike, and the red vans. So those are quite cheaper. So I was paying, so in total for me, since I had a motorbike when I was living there, with gas, it was about $100 to $120 somewhere. Let's move on to the dating social life. So basically in Chiang Mai, it's super chilled. So you can meet all sorts of people, from tourists to locals and just travelers. If you want to date, you can use apps like Bumble and Tinder. Although as you might know in this channel, if you've been watching for a while, I don't use those things. So I usually use cold approach. I just talk to people, and then that's how I do my dates. But yeah, if it's what you do, is Bumble and Tinder. You can meet all sort of people, and people there are quite curious. So coffee dates can cost you about $6, depending on where you go. It's $4 to $6, and going for some drinks, and food and stuff like that, it won't be as hectic as much. Some of my videos, which were basically had the most views in this channel were from when I was in Chiang Mai. So those are the videos where I was there. When I was dated a German girl who was like traveling, and Polish girl, like, yeah, you can check it on my channel. Here, I'll put it here, so you can check it out there. That's how I made them, like cold approaching and talking there. So monthly I was spending about, for dates, $80 to $100 per month, so which is like nothing for me. Like, it's as long as I was getting the experience and just meeting all sort of people, learning their culture and all of that. So yeah, that's other daily costs would be things like gym. So if you want a decent gym, yeah, it'll be like about $30 per month. You will need actually SIM card and data. That'll be $10 per month. That's with an unlimited plan with AIS. So I recommend AIS. So that's the one I was using, it's unlimited data. And also weekly massages, which is cost you about $8, $6, somewhere there, $6-8 weekly. So if you, yes, I said weekly because I'm a sucker of massages, if you know me, right? So you'd be like, so massages are like my thing. So if you're one of the travelers I met on my trips, yeah, you'll know that I love massages. So for extras, that'll be like about $60 to $70 per month. That's for extras. So yeah, in total, guys, I was paying about $800 to $900 living in Chiang Mai. So I was quite happy. I had my own space, good food, and my own transport, and good social life, dating life. So it was pretty much chilled. I don't need anything else. So basically, Chiang Mai is a best place if you want a place that is peaceful, has a low cost of living, and it's just great for just doing, like, if you're working online or you just want to be away from everything else but also still have a social life, and also just meet good friendly people and have a good lifestyle that is super relaxed. Also, there's quite a lot of temples around there, so many tourists love to go live there, even because that's basically, Chiang Mai is a place where like do a lot of meditation, so that's why it's super chill there. It kind of reminds me of Ubud in a way. Yeah, so I stayed there in Ubud too, in Indonesia. If you want me to do a Ubud video too, I'll do it. Also, I stayed there it's kind of similar to Chiang Mai. Obviously, there's quite a lot of differences there too. So comparing Chiang Mai to Bangkok, usually the cost of living is nearly double in Bangkok, especially for rent. So if you're spending $250 for rent, you'll be spending about nearly $500 per month. So it's kind of nearly double this life. So if I had the same things I had in Chiang Mai of spending $900 per month, in Bangkok I'd be spending easily 1.5 or something more, so yeah, depending on where I live. If you're thinking to move to Southeast Asia or Thailand, I do recommend checking out Chiang Mai. It's super relaxed, super affordable, still get the same social life that you get in Bangkok, but just a bit toned down, but you still have it, and you'll be able to work remotely, have the best food, best of both worlds, I would say, because the nightlife in Chiang Mai is still like good.